Hello, everyone. Welcome to our second to last week. Hello from Seward, Alaska. I'm in the car right now. It is pouring rain. The coffee shops are all full. So we're just doing our best. We're teaching it live. That's my stepson in the back seat. There you go. He'll be helping with this presentation. Um, but today we're going to go over your final assignment, which is your resume, and have a question of the day. But first, let's share screen. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. Stop share. I want this. Content. Share screen. Okay. So we're at our content page. We all familiar with this. First things first, assignments. Your final draft of Project 2 is due tonight at midnight. As I've mentioned before, if you email me and ask for an extension, you can get an extension, but it's only up to a week. After a week, so a week from today, I will be going through and grading and giving zeros to people who have not turned in their final draft for Project 2 yet. So please get those in. You have to send me an email if you want an extension. And then if you want to, you have up to a week with that extension to turn in your final draft. I've already gotten 8 of them. Great work to those people who have done so already. And I look forward to seeing everyone else's. I left comments on rough drafts for the 15 people who did them. Great job. Okay. So resumes. What's that all about? I've had a couple people already turn in their resumes. That might be a mistake because I'm going to be grading these based on how well they are made, not just like, oh, look, I turned in my resume that I already had. And there is a reading that I want you guys to try to follow. So in order to get there, we go to content, we go to project 3 resume, and then you see where it says resumes, this PDF document. That's going to be the reading that I want you all to do to prepare yourself to finalize your resume. So we're going to stop share again. We're going to share screen again. We're going to share the right screen. We're doing it. Currently sharing this screen. Okay. So this document mainly just talks about 3 different types of resumes: the reverse chronological resume, the functional resume, and the combined chronological and functional resume. We are going to be focusing on the reverse chronological resume unless you have very little work experience. If you've had 1 job or less in your life, you're going to want to do the functional resume because instead of different employment dates, it's arranged under skills and abilities. See this? Project management, communication skills, and leadership skills, etc. That is really helpful if you do not have a long-term employment history and you are applying for a job. So for all of you with 1 job or less, I want you to try doing the functional resume, right? Where the main headings of a functional resume are objective, accomplishments, capabilities, then employment history, education, and references. So we front load the objective. The objective is just what your objective is for this resume. So for instance, this one is to find a career opportunity within the North Carolina Wildfire Control Branch as a fire crew member, right? So the objective of your resume should change every single time you give it to a new business. You shouldn't just have a single document that always says the same thing unless you're applying to very similar jobs. Instead, you should have new objectives depending on where you were applying your jobs, where you're applying, and what kind of job you're applying to. So if you're applying to, for instance, be a library assistant, right? You would talk about finding a career opportunity within the library sciences field, maybe. If you're applying to be a retail worker, you would have a very different objective there. Now, you could maybe have the same resume afterwards, though you should highlight different skills, different career summaries, etc. Especially that's true if you're using your functional resume, right? Where we have accomplishments, capabilities, those sections, those accomplishment sections and capability sections, those non-employment sections, those are really going to be different depending on what kind of job you're applying for. Because you don't want to apply to be a librarian and say, one of my skills is, I don't know, cooking. Not helpful for a librarian. Yes, helpful if you're applying in the food service industry. Okay. Anyways, I want you all to read this document and copy the resume that the samples that are here, either the reverse chronological resume, which is this one, or the functional resume, which is this one down here. There's the functional resume. It's all Mike Gregorius. Don't write Mike Gregorius. Also, you do not have to have the exact same formatting as you see here. You just need the same section headers. So objective, summary of qualifications, relevant skills, etc. Okay? All right. That is the resume reading that I want you to do. We're going to try to keep this video short, so I'm not going to go into more detail. A couple of things, though. You want to make sure that when you're preparing lists, make sure they are all parallel in grammatical structure. So this is really important right here. That is, if you're writing about your responsibilities, use either their participles or verbs, but not both in the same list. For example, a list using gerunds, participles ending in ing that are frequently used as nouns would look like this. My duties included writing letters, editing brochures and promotional materials, and creating trade show schedules. So you see how each one, it's writing letters, editing brochures, creating trade show schedules. Those are parallel structures. Whereas if we are doing in verbs, we would do, as part of my duties, I wrote letters, edited brochures, created trade show schedules. Do you see the difference between creating and created? One is the gerund. One is the past tense verb for what you did at that job. Do not mix these. It'll make you look foolish and sloppy. So either make all of them throughout your entire resume the gerund, which I prefer. My duties included writing letters, editing brochures, etc., or the past tense, wrote letters, edited brochures, etc. Okay? That's the one thing from this reading that you have to pay attention to. I'm going to grade you on this. Okay. So that's all for the lesson. Question of the day today. I just hiked up the Exit Glacier Trail, which is 3,000-foot climb. It is very exhausting. It is a hard thing. So in honor of that, and also in honor of you guys all doing your resumes, which you're going to have to be in interviews and going to have to be answering like what's a challenge that you've overcome. We're going to do a resume or interview style question for today's question of the day, which is, what is something hard that you have accomplished? And what lessons did you learn from accomplishing it? And would you do it again, even though it was hard, if you had the chance? That's the question of the day. Remember, these are styled as memos. So your subject line should only be 3 to 7 words, not everything I just listed in the question. You have to find a way to summarize everything I just listed in 3 to 7 words. Okay, that's the question of the day. That's resumes. Please turn in your final drafts project 2. And that should do. All right. Goodbye from Seward.